Whiting Oil. Jack is a regular feature here with us on News and Views. Jack, thanks for making the trip.
You're welcome, Joel. It's great to be with you again. Good morning, Senator. How are you?
Well, good morning to you. Sorry I didn't make it down.
Well, the one thing about North Dakota, if you don't like the weather, just stick around. It'll change for you, won't it, Rich?
You're absolutely right.
Okay, let's talk some business here. This footprint of the Bakken, Rich, is really starting to come your way in Dickinson. You already knew it was there. I get that. I'm not so blind to that. I did a show from Dickinson last year. But the play is really starting to increase there, isn't it, Rich?
Yes, it's moving towards us from the north, and then on the west side of Dickinson and Stark County. It's very active out there, and of course Jack Ekstrom is with Whiting Oil, and they're very active out in that area.
Jack, talk to me about what you're seeing as far as this thing playing. I know Whiting's got a big footprint in the Dickinson area.
We do have a big footprint in the Dickinson area. It is going to grow. The good news is our gas plant is open, operating, and growing. And what that means for the Dickinson area is that flaring of natural gas is down and will continue to decline dramatically as you move through time. Building the infrastructure is not something that happens overnight. You build it, you invest in it. We are going to spend approximately, I'm going to say $800 million this year in North Dakota.
$800 million.
And that's just Whiting. And we are not the leading operator. I mean, that's just one company. That's what we plan to invest here in drilling and
Can you do it, Jack? I mean, can you make that?
Sure.
I mean, do you have the people to make this happen?
Well, we have 200 job openings right now.
Okay.
And
they range from what to what?
Well, they range from a pumper, a guy who goes to each well every day and checks on it, all the way up to operators for the gas plant and senior type management positions, guys who will oversee large spans of operations in and around Dickinson or in and around Stanley. These are premium positions that some pay in six figures. It is very difficult to staff. One of the reasons we're having difficulty in North Dakota is that the play is so dramatic and so big and so profitable for the state and profitable for us. You are manpower constrained. You simply do not have the resource pool to draw from to build this as quickly as you would like to. We are relying on the state university system. We have a great presence in Bismarck with Bismarck State, Dickinson State, Williston State. All of these schools are turning out professionals as rapidly as they can. So we're not as bad as we could be, but we're not as up to speed as we would like to be. So
yeah, and Rich,
it's a growing pain.
Senator Wardner, you had a hand in that, and you've got a big history with Dickinson State and did a quality job for them for years. Are you comfortable that we're on the right path with our higher ed system to provide the needs that an $800,000 investment from one company can provide us?
Well, I think we're just starting, and just so you know, Joel, you remember that we had the community colleges working with a four-year college in those workforce regions. And, of course, in our case, it would be Bismarck State delivering the product for skills training out to Dickinson State. And I just want you to know, even though Dickinson State has its problems right now, D.C. Costin is moving forward, and they're looking to the future, and I really appreciate that. Yes, we are moving in the right direction.
I want to point out D.C. Costin has not run or hid from any of this. He's going to come on with us tomorrow about the very things Rich just talked about that we're not going to touch upon today. We'll hit some of those issues tomorrow, but you've got a good man out there in D.C. Costin right now, Rich, at a time when you so desperately need him. What about the community itself? I know you know the college, but when somebody comes in and looks at you and says, you know what, we believe in this area and we're willing to invest $800 million, just our company. I mean, my buddy Perry's hotel is going to be pretty full out there.
Yes, it is, and the community is behind it. And I just would like to say that yes, the oil activity is moving close to our community. But remember, Joel, we've had an opportunity to see what happened up at Williston and Watford City and Stanley and Tioga, and leadership in our community, Mayor Dennis Johnson, City Commission, and the County Commission, done a great job positioning us to be ready. We are really sitting pretty good to be able to take on the extra impact.
Okay. Jack, how much does the seasonal nature of what we do in North Dakota affect what you do? You know, I mean, we're sitting here on a storm day today getting out tons of road reports, tons of snowfall reports here in the east. How much does it slow down oil production?
It slows it down dramatically. Obviously, this particular storm doesn't affect us because it's the eastern part of the state. But when we have a winter like we had last year, it was dramatic. And it affects our ability to invest and to build out, and it affects our planning. This winter, we have had almost the exact opposite. It's been a wonderful winter. We've gotten a lot done. We've caught up. But the cyclical nature of this thing, you kind of plan to slow down in the winter, and then when the weather is good, like it was this winter, you're able to do actually more than you thought you were going to be able to. But when you have a winter like we had last winter, that was dramatic. And then we had the flooding. We had our employees impacted in Minot. We had difficulties on our locations because of the quantity of snow and water. We were working very hard, not so much to build production, but to maintain the integrity of our well sites was foremost in our mind, so that we don't have spills and we don't have runoff, we don't have any of those negative environmental impacts that everybody is concerned about.
Rich, you cut a wider swath now. I mean, that's just the flat out truth. You're no longer just a state senator from Dickinson with a real history of an education base and a athletic base and a broad perspective of Western North Dakota. You're the majority leader in the North Dakota Senate. And so how are you going to continue to make that case to legislators in the East of what infrastructure is needed to, you know, it seems to me that we in the East kind of get the benefits, but we don't necessarily want to put the investment out there at times to the product that's needed to make sure that you folks' life really maintains the quality it deserves.
Well, you're absolutely correct. My life has changed. It's different. I have to think about the whole state. You really do, because we care about the whole state. The thing about it that people need to understand, that they're probably, when it gets to the legislature and a lot of the key people in the cities, the leadership in the cities and stuff, I don't know if there's as big a divide as sometimes people like to say. I know this, that we need to take care of the infrastructure in the East. They are critical to the total development of this state.
Yep.
And so you have to think about those things. And if there's extra revenue and resources that we can help, like, for example, with flooding and taking care of bringing water to other parts of the state, we're glad to do that.
Well,
I remember last week there was a group from Fargo went out to Williston to take a look at what's going on, and I really appreciated that.
yeah, I saw Tim Flackel and some others did that. Rich, I go back to, you know, it should not have been the situation it was where we were debating extra truck regulatory and patrolmen out there. You know, and it took you and others to try to say, come on, guys. I mean, we need, I mean, the head of the highway patrol, the governor of the state is saying we need this additional help out there. And it really was driven from the East, which is what made me rip my hair out. And that's why I bring up some of these issues. I don't want to sensationalize them, but at times it seems to me that if Rich Wardner comes in and says, we need this, and I'm from Hankinson, North Dakota, I'm going to look at you and say, okay, I'm with you, buddy. You're the one that's got to live it, you know. And I'm hoping more and more legislators start doing that for you, Rich.
Well, thank you, and I would like to just say on those highway patrol, I was on that conference committee for 3 sessions. The first one, it wasn't so much about the West as it was about the Fargo area. They needed more enforcement 24 hours, 7 days a week, and we tried to get 1 or 2 patrolmen. But the last part here, definitely we needed more patrolmen, and it's made a difference, Joel. It really has.
Good. I mean, that was the goal. Rich and Jack, I think the best thing we do with this segment that we do with Jack Ekstrom is we give people access to you guys. Can you do that, Rich, or what's your schedule like?
sure can.
Okay, I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to come back, light up the phone lines. You've got access to the oil industry and to leaders in North Dakota right now. 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346.